On April 22, 1946, in Shanghai, a city still struggling to rebuild from the devastation of war, a wooden gallows stood inside the old racecourse grounds. 3 Japanese soldiers were escorted forward, silent and composed. Their wrists were bound, their eyes fixed on the assembled Allied officers who had gathered to witness justice carried out. Moments later, the trapdoors dropped, ending yet another grim chapter of the Second World War. Who were these men, and what had led them here? Their names were Masataka Kaburagi, Kiyomi Kawai, and Yosaburo Shirakawa, all serving members of the Imperial Japanese Army stationed in China. Their execution marked the conclusion of one of the earliest Allied war crimes trials held after the conflict, a proceeding rooted in the story of 8 American airmen captured following the Doolittle Raid of 1942. The Doolittle Raid was the United States' first direct strike against Japan after Pearl Harbor. 16 B-25 bombers launched from the carrier USS Hornet, flying more than 600 miles to attack Tokyo and other strategic targets. Its objective was not large-scale destruction, but to send a message that Japan could be reached. While most crews escaped into China, 8 unfortunate airmen fell into Japanese custody near the city of Hankow. Rather than being treated as prisoners of war, they were accused of targeting civilians and put before a military tribunal, a sham hearing later condemned as a kangaroo court. There were no defense lawyers, no legitimate evidence, and no mercy. 3 of the airmen were executed by firing squad, and the remaining men were imprisoned. One would not survive to see the war's end. After Japan's surrender in August 1945, the Allied powers launched widespread investigations into war crimes committed across Asia. In Shanghai, American prosecutors under General Douglas MacArthur's legal division gathered testimony, documents, and eyewitness accounts. Their inquiries traced the murders to units of the Kempeitai, Japan's feared military police, who had overseen the execution of the captured Doolittle flyers. While the orders originated from high-ranking officers, responsibility ultimately fell upon the personnel who carried out those orders. In February 1946, a tribunal was convened in Shanghai to prosecute those involved in the killings of the Doolittle Airmen and other Allied captives. After weeks of detailed testimony, 3 men were convicted: Major General Masataka Kaburagi, Chief of Staff of the Japanese 34th Army, Sergeant Major Kiyomi Kawai, and Corporal Yosaburo Shirakawa, both of the Kempeitai. The evidence was overwhelming. Documents, witnesses, and even confessions tied them directly to the unlawful executions. The tribunal ruled that the men had either issued or personally participated in the murders of American prisoners. All 3 received the same sentence, death by hanging. On the morning of April 22nd, they were led to the gallows. Each was offered the opportunity to deliver final words, but none spoke. A U.S. Army Signal Corps film crew recorded the entire event, the scaffold, the nooses, and the formal reading of the verdict, as part of the Allied effort to document the administration of justice after years of wartime brutality. These hangings were not isolated events. Between 1945 and 1949, Allied tribunals across the Pacific held more than 2,000 war crimes trials. Hundreds of Japanese officers, soldiers, and government officials were executed for atrocities committed in China, the Philippines, Burma, and throughout the Pacific Islands. The Shanghai trials were just one element of this vast legal reckoning. Yet the case of the 3 men hanged for the Doolittle murders carried particular symbolic weight. It underscored a new post-war principle, that soldiers could no longer hide behind the excuse of following orders. Individuals, not only nations, were responsible for wartime conduct. For the families of the murdered airmen, the verdict brought a measure of justice. For the wider world, it served as a reminder that even after formal surrender, the echoes of war's violence continued to resonate.